All right. Let's see. Part two. Part two. This is going to be about. I'm gonna expound a little bit about. What did I say? Social media is out of control. Everyone is correct. Social media. AI conspiracy theory. That's what I wanted to expound. That's what I wanted to expound on a little bit more about the AI conspiracy theory. I think a lot of people are aware of this, but I want to dig one layer deeper within the awareness of AI. Now, this goes to like, I want you to take this with a grain of salt. I don't want you to just accept and believe what I say, because I always go back to this, man. And this is interesting. I like to go back to this, as a matter of fact, is that remember Morpheus and Neo sitting talking to each other? Neo was probably doubting. He was probably like, "Man, is this all a joke? Like, what's even going on?" But he said, Morpheus said, "I can only show you the door, but you have to walk through it. So you got to do your own due diligence. You got to do your own research, not just on the internet, guys. Sometimes we need some good old fashioned practical application and experience. Those are the people you need to listen to the most, who've been through hell. Well, how do I know what hell is like? What's hell? Well, talk to the people who's been through it. You know what I mean? We're trying to get all these opinions from these quote unquote experts who's never been in the pit, who's never been in the foxhole, who's never been in war. You're going to take advice as a warrior in training from a person who claims to know the tactics of war, and he's going to say he's going to win your battles, who's never been into war himself? Think about that. Would you take advice from that guy? No, you wouldn't. If you're smart, if you're a human being who has common sense. So what do we need? People with experience, someone who you know who's been through the thick of it, in this analogy of warrior mindset, you know what I mean? So now God can bestow knowledge upon humanity, right? He can bestow knowledge upon humanity. And many people say, well, I'm a prophet of God. I got this special knowledge. Well, all knowledge is free. All knowledge is available to every single human being who wants to access God and his limitless wisdom and knowledge and understanding that he has for all human beings out here. So that's all it is. So nobody's special per se, right? It's all of like who is willing to lay down the flesh and pick up or tune in to the spirit. This is how you get information. This is how you get a Nikola Tesla. This is how you get certain people who are just like Albert Einstein, people who discover things. This is all because of God. It's not because of the man. Anybody could be the most brilliant man you could possibly think of, the richest man you could possibly think of. It's up to you in how much you want to tap and tune into God. Nobody should be poor. Nobody. And I mean nobody. This is the mind control, manipulation, power control tactics that rich people put over and shroud over the world, thinking that there has to be an upper class, middle class, and a lower class. There's so much food out here that not one person, one human being should ever go hungry, right? But it doesn't work like that because people are evil. They're disconnected from God. We, the chosen ones, understand this reality that like there's so much potential. How many semen are created every second in a man, within a man? It never stops. Women go through a cycle. They lose eggs every month, whether they like it or not. They bleed. You know what I mean? We men, we keep going. We're like that sunshine that's always shining. The moon has cycles. It grows and wanes, or waxes and wanes. You know what I mean? So we men have so much potential. God made women from man. Why didn't God just take some different dirt? There was a reason behind that. You know what I mean? God put his work in man. He's not gonna redo everything. He's just gonna take it from man because his own potential was put into the image that he created in his own image. So it goes from there. You know what I mean? And then it bounces back when that that was without goes back within and creates another without. You know what I mean? On the outside external realm. You know, as within, so without. This is how you have the perpetual race. But there's so much potential, man, for all materials and access to knowledge and wisdom, and everybody's got their opinions about stuff. But it's like, this is how you discern. Is like when you have the Spirit of God. I say this, but like people don't understand. It's like, well, I'm not going to argue with you anymore about anything. It's more of, you know, as I'm speaking to the people of the world, I'm not going to argue with you. It's a waste of energy. It's a waste of breath, because I have the Spirit of God. I know what's up. People claim they have the Spirit of God. It turns into an argument. You know what I'm saying? No, I have the Holy Spirit. Oh, I have this. Oh, I have special knowledge. No, this is correct. No, this is correct. You know what I mean? You match it up with the Bible, and you prove it, you test it, and you understand it. You know what I'm saying? I'm not talking about people's weaknesses and failures and shortcomings and say this is what it is. This is who you are. Therefore, you don't know anything, because everybody's messed up. You know what I mean? Every single person's messed up, so you can't judge a person's knowledge and understanding and wisdom based on that. You know what I mean? So AI conspiracy theory, man, is the 2050 agenda, where they're trying to integrate fully the consciousness with a fake intelligence. Is computer, basically computer programs to where they're going to be doing the thinking for you. I've witnessed this already. I see this already in play and action. I've had suspicions about it, but now I'm seeing it on a real level, so it makes me realize that this has probably already been going on for about 20 or 30 years, maybe more. It's the global cloud that is that has been put over this world, the invisible cloud of electrical magnetic frequencies. Basically, essentially speaking, the vibration and the frequency, a field, so to speak. It's like a field type of thing where it can tap in. It can tap into your. It's like you can always hear it. You can hear it. It's like a one global radio station, but it's AI. And it hasn't, I don't know if there has become a one leader source of that AI and what type of human being or beings are messing with this right now. Because eventually they're going to want to go, the beings are going to want to go offline. They'll probably still, you know, keep tabs on it. But they're going to want this one source AI. It's kind of like iRobot. Remember how you had that girl? She was AI that was designed by this billionaire, and she basically went rogue. She went crazy. She thought she was doing the right thing, obviously, but like, I mean, this is artificial intelligence. It's not a human being mindset, but it's an AI mindset that thought she was going to protect humanity by locking down humanity and causing everybody to be in their houses. If you ever seen iRobot with Will Smith, so it's the same concept where if it gets to that, it's going to probably be something very similar where the AI, how it was designed to be. It was the same thing with what's the other movie? Dang, I can't think of that movie. Why am I thinking of? I'm trying to look at. Let me look it up. Man, what is that movie called? Where the dude goes in a video game. You know what I mean? And Flynn. Remember that's one of the characters' names, Flynn. I gotta look this up. It's kind of killing me. Flynn. Hold on, let me just give me a moment, guys. Just give me a moment. Sorry about this, but when I got something on my mind, I gotta look this up and find out. What movie is that called? It's like with the arcade. Remember, he goes in the arcade. Movie. It's on the tip of my tongue, and I know if I just like chilled out, I would discover because it's already in my mind. I'm just like surfacely sidetracked with this. What is that movie called, though? Not Free Guy, but there's a lot of analogies with that. Not Jumanji. Tron. Yes, Tron. It's Tron, man. But I forgot my whole point behind that. Frick. Um, oh, like where you know how he created how Flynn, I think that was his dad's name. He went in the game. He created himself, like the image of himself, and he told him to basically look over, protect, and be. It's basically kind of like supposed to be an exact copy, but that's how it is with those who have created AI, to where the end goal 2050 is going to be creating that kind of like taking over, letting the human beings relax, and just letting this person dominate and control uh, all humanity. But even the AI mind went rogue. But he thought, quote unquote thought, because there's no such thing as thought from a computer. Even though we've deceived ourselves and put ourselves under illusion towards the experts who believe there is consciousness, which is no such thing. It's only, yeah, man, it gets down the rabbit hole and stupidity because people think they, yeah. But anyways, that being that not a, it's not a being, the intelligence made by man had a mind of its own, so to speak, and went against its own creator. He asked him a question. Remember, they said, "Am I still the, something, something, something?" He said, and the guy, the creator, even said yes, but then he had it in his mind that it was a misinterpretation, a misunderstanding, something, whatever it was, right? So that's probably what's going to happen, most likely. This is speculation. This is speculation, but you can see how things are going. Um, this is just one guy's opinion. This is just my opinion and my belief of how I see it. It's an illusion of control. It's an illusion of control and domination, and it's really a perversion. Above all, this is like the main takeaway I wanted to give you guys with this AI conspiracy theory. Anybody who's on board with this is like, it's really just it's a perversion to like integrate some sort of artificial intelligence program into the consciousness of a human being that God created. This is another try from the snakes and serpents and scorpions in the astral realm, in the spiritual realm, trying to mess with humanity again. There's a couple theories behind that. What's the point? Why are they doing that? Some might say it's to try to get back at God. Some might say it's just to simply try to be God and rule over humanity. If the devil wants to rule over humanity, he shouldn't do it like that. But this is the only thing he knows, is through force, illusions, pushy, shove, and trickery. And that's the only way, man. That's the only way he thinks that's the only way he can control. But when people see that, the pushy, shovey illusions, the mind control, the manipulation, they realize who's trying to pull the strings here. God calls us to be self-controlled, to cut the strings, to not be controlled by anybody. God doesn't even want to control us, guys. Why do you think the fruit of the Spirit is to control oneself? There's a verse in the Bible that says, patience is better than a warrior, and better than a soldier self-control is better than a soldier who can take a city. Patience is better than a warrior. Self-control is better than a soldier who can take a city, or something like that. So God cares more about patience and self-control rather than warriors who can, control and dominate and destroy cities and take over in wars and all this other crazy stuff. While you're sitting here in self-control, controlling your own body. When that urge comes up, you control that. You're stronger than warriors who just took a city. When you're practicing practicing that, it's really not mind over body. It's actually the Spirit is flowing within you. You know what I mean, and flowing through you. And it's really just a fruit of the Spirit, self-control. You're just being. You're relaxing. But people don't look at that as a strength. A strength is tuning in and tapping into God. People in their own power and strength in the flesh, they want to do all this crazy intelligence works and mind control, and just like that's the only way they think they can win. And one more thing that just came into mind is how they work, man. This is crazy. It's like this new generation of like the past 100 years. It's the generation of the degenerate to the degenerate. So we come out with all this information and intelligence about the human body and how we need all this food and all this specific supplements and all this other crazy stuff that I know some of you know what I'm talking about, and it's overwhelming, right? If you've ever gotten into health and wellness and just like the meticulous parts of it, people get into the nitty gritty, and some of the stuff is good to know, but it's like, wait a minute, why do I need all this stuff? My mom asked me this question. She's like, why do we need all this stuff all of a sudden? And it sparked something into me at that very day. I was like, wait a minute, it's because people are degenerating themselves. It's a supply and demand issue. So if we're always like sex crazed, because vital life force energy is very real, it's very potent and powerful. And if you keep that in, you're no longer wasting that. Then your body can relax and be at ease, and it doesn't need to feel like it needs to eat all the time to catch up with the demand that you put on your body. So the body says, I need a lot to resupply what has been excreted. And I did some rough math. As a male, one excretion of the average male, it takes about 9 days of the seed to get back, because look at my logic is you make 1,500 semen every second approximately on average. This is where I use the newfound knowledge to my advantage. You make 1,500 seed every second, and you multiply that, keep multiplying that until you get to, well, first you got to figure out how much is wasted or used in one excretion, whether you're having sex with your wife or whether you waste it. Because it's a supply and demand. I'm not looking at it not right now as a moral issue. I'm looking at it strictly as supply and demand. So if you're wasted, that's 9 days. It's about 8 to 9 days, guys, to get one excretion of your vital life force fluid back. And it takes around, from the knowledge I've discovered, which makes sense, logically, simply speaking, when you think simple, it makes sense. Like what you eat, because where does a seed come from? How does this get created, right? There's an energy aspect to it. There's a physical aspect to it. See, it's like you got to look at it as a bank account. If you keep draining your account, it's like, why ain't I rich? Why am I not rich yet? Because every day you're there's nothing in the piggy bank. You don't have nothing saved. You don't have nothing saved. So how can you expect to go buy something? Your body's looking to make purchases to repair the joints, to repair the brain cells, to repair your eyes. It's looking for your bank account currency to repair your bones and your cartilage and your tendons and everything, right? It doesn't have nothing. So it's like, well, crap, I'm so behind. I'm in debt, man. I got to catch up. So you eat and eat and eat. And this is why so many people are fat. And they make it very easy to make you more fat because, oh my gosh, it's crazy, bro. Like they put it all over you. They put it all over everywhere. The media, the social media, a fast food facility franchise at every corner, at every street. Then you got the drugs, and then you got the lust and the temptations just in your face, right? Which makes it 10 times worse because you're eating empty. You're eating empty food, and it makes you feel full for a minute, and then your body, you still feel hungry because you're not getting actual vitamins, minerals, and nutrients that your life force vital energy has been craving and begging for years and years and years. So you're like, why am I not healing? Why am I not repairing? Even for the people who this is the lost key of health and wellness. Even for the people who live so pinpoint accuracy, fruits, vegetables, meditation, sunshine, plenty of water, exercise, you name it. But they're having sex all the time. But they will. Here's the thing, bro. They've been so manipulated, and mind controlled that they feel they have to have sex, and they say, how dare you tell me not to have sex to be healthy? It's the excess of sex. And you got to understand the supply and demand of the life force energy. If you're going to live for that pleasure, trust me, you will die. You'll die at a quote unquote mind controlled, deceptive average age of 80, 90, maybe 100 if you're extremely lucky. But this is the degenerate process, is losing your life force energy. So if you give yourself enough time, you stay on that seed retention, you stay on that, you stop playing the DJ as a female, you stop messing with your lower parts down there for pure pleasure purposes, but then you make an excuse and say, well, I'm married, I can have sex all the time. It might not be damning, it might not send you to hell. It's not going to send you to hell, but you got to understand the supply and demand issue of life force vital energy, because we've been so manipulated generation in and out, generation after generation after generation of sex and sex and sex and more sex. It's all good. But as soon as somebody says I'm a celibate, I don't have sex, I stay single, you're an outcast. Automatically you're a weirdo. We don't even want to hear about it. We don't even want to try to understand it. But when you start reading books, you start having a stack of knowledge that's piling high, you start gaining wisdom and understanding knowledge from God, you learn, you understand, you see it for what it is. Many people are not even worthy for you to even tell them, because they're not even worthy. You know what I mean? But nonetheless, who am I to say who's worthy and who's not? You know what I'm saying? So I'm going to spread this information as much as I can on such a simple level to where it's a supply and demand issue, bro, with your seed, with the sexual life force energy. And you will realize this is a real battle, because it's not just you, it's a generational thing that has been put in their seed, your dad's seed, your grandpa's seed, your great grandpa's seed, that has been a manipulation, a mind control of, it's basically a broad scale energy harvest that the enemy loves to eat up. And Queen Jezebel in the spiritual realm has been drinking the blood of the saints for generations upon generations, but also all of humanity, because they're already hers. The world and the people of the world already belong to her and the devil, her husband, the devil. So for the chosen, though, man, she has no right over your blood. You know what I mean? So don't be confused. Don't get it twisted, bro. Because there's an external realization with this about the prophets being destroyed and the persecution and literally killing God's people, stoning them to death. But there's also the internal realization and recognition, just as God says that your body is a holy temple, therefore God lives within your temple. This is a sacred secret revealed that Christ is within you. It's also on the external as well. Okay, so you got to really put some understandings and you need the Spirit of God. I could explain it to you, but you'd still probably be confused without the Spirit of God. You know what I mean? So it takes about 9 days to get that back over one ejaculation. So it takes around 30 days from the day you eat your food for it to actually become the quintessence of the life force vital energy to be excreted out or saved, because there's an internal secretion that will help and prolong your life. So how long does it take to get out of debt? You can do some real rough math, man. You can be like, how many times have I masturbated in my entire life? I did a rough math. It take me about 50 years. 50 years to equalize. 50 years. You know what I'm saying? So it's possible. It's real. You know what I'm saying? So it's extreme motivation for some of you, man, to if you want to recover and repair supernaturally, because this is a gift from God. You can't waste it and use it for pleasure purposes. I mean, you can, but you're going to find out in the long run that nobody puts this clue together, that's what causes death. There's sins that don't lead to death. This sin of wasting your fluids and using your fluids just for pleasure, using it as a justification. Oh, I'm married though, so I can have sex with my. You guys are slaves to each other. You're sex slaves to each other. You don't understand that. You're sex slaves to each other. You can't stop having sex. If you're in a marriage, stop having sex for 1 year. Tell me if that marriage falls apart or comes closer, or what are you guys going to go through? Can you still live life without having sex? You're going to find out what's real. Because it's generation after generation mind control within the very DNA of that seed that gets carried on to you. Finally, you recognize that and you wake up when you put yourself on semen retention. You realize the true battle, the true energy war that causes death or causes life. You know what I mean? So don't let the AI get up in you, man. Don't ever freaking let that integrate within you. Wake up. Know that God is the giver of all knowledge and wisdom and understanding. Seek Him in meditation. You don't need any external teacher. You just call upon His name, call upon Jesus Christ and say, Lord, teach me. I'm willing. I have an open heart, open mind. Lord, teach me your ways. Grab a Bible. Boom. Let's go. That's it.